What does your mom think about this?
I bring my mom to work and go to 150.
Nah, fuck all that. Nah, this man said, I took my mama to work going 150. Your mom is like the cashier at Safeway or Walmart. Like, I'm not going 150 behind that. I ain't gonna lie. That's mama, you want to be late.
I go where I want and I do what I want. My belt match the kicks. Don't you go
King T to the G. Who you think he gonna be? We hear one more again with a Tommy G reaction on his quest to find the most wanted drivers in New York. So without wasting any time, we're gonna get straight into it. Let's get it.
Okay, easy, Tiger. Easy. Come on. Hey. How many police chases do you think you've been in?
30, I think.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how wanted would you say you are?
Probably a 10. Nobody's more wanted than me.
I wasn't lying when I said these guys are wanted. Hello, folks. I'm Tommy G. I'm here with the most wanted drivers in New York.
Hey, I'm Street Fresh.
I'm a big dog. I do big dog shit. I fuck your bitch wrong. I heard she been wanting a kid.
I'm a big dog and I do big dog shit.
Let the dogs outside.
Swim team, you already know what's going on. I love NYPD. Swim team, the dream team.
So buckle up, folks. This is going to be a wild ride.
This is lit, man, because we get to actually see what's it called, the most wanted drivers. I didn't know what he meant by that. I thought it meant like sought after, because I don't know. I didn't know why. Like maybe like chauffeurs, limos, but no, this is lit. They're like the most like kind of street racing type. Oh, this is gonna be lit.
One day in the safety of my home in Milwaukee, I started to get bombarded by DMs imploring me to explore these two drivers named Squeeze Benz and Where's 981. When I looked at their pages, their driving shocked me. I would describe their videos as daring, dangerous, and reckless. I'm fascinated by the human desire to push limits and go against the grain. I'm fascinated by the daredevils and outlaws of the world. Young men in particular love to do this in a variety of ways. Evel Knievel shot himself out of a cannon. Philip Petit tightrope walked across the Twin Towers. Alex Honnold climbed up cliffs without a rope. And fighter Darren Till cut weight until...
Like I said, once again, I always like the way that Tommy G gives you a lot of background on the reason for the interview and what inspired him. And that's another reason why I like doing the reactions to it, because it gives it sense, it gives it credence. So let's keep it lit.
He went blind. The question that comes to mind when you look at this behavior is what compels someone to push themselves to such lengths and risk injury or death. In today's video, we investigate this daredevil behavior in the form of reckless drivers who are causing outrage and fascination across New York.
Police tried to pull over a car on West 38th Street and 7th Avenue. The driver sped off, slamming into cars, driving on the sidewalk, and even hitting a dining shed.
But there's a twist in the story, because these guys don't just risk their own necks in the stunts, they also risk the lives of innocent pedestrians and the law enforcement that chases them. These guys regularly go on police chases and evade police helicopters. Today, we interview them face to face and talk morality, ethics, danger, and their motivation for their behavior. Let's dive in and go boots on the ground.
Wait, so you're telling me these guys actually, in their free time, their spare time, they like to elude the police for fun and helicopters? Okay, that's okay. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments.
This documentary is purely for educational purposes. We want to stress that the behavior depicted in this video is dangerous, illegal, and should never be imitated. And remember, it only takes one bad crash to ruin your life or someone else's. Please drive responsibly. Thank you.
Two with the F87. Table for two by Carbone in my section.
We wanted to know how everyday people felt about this kind of driving. We had some extra time to kill at the New York airport, so I went around showing people videos of Squeeze Benz and Where's 981 driving. Here's what they had to say about it.
What do you think of that?
It's just dangerous. I think it's a peace go off, and it's a bit dangerous. Was everyone else at risk?
He's probably going 120, 130 right now. See how there's some close calls?
I feel like he thinks he's in a video game. That stuff pisses me off. So I got kids that are on those roads too. When that guy hits one of my kids, Jose, I don't know what happened.
I could tell this guy a million times, hey, you're going to kill somebody on the road. He's going to do it anyways. What do you think about that?
It makes me mad. I get it. All kids, they're bred to do that, right? But it's irresponsible.
If I told you that
I was gonna say that it is crazy to me about how she was really preaching from like an older perspective, like just being grown, not an older perspective, just being grown. Like, we have children on the road, which is true. And I like the way, I thought it was also funny how her son was sitting next to her the whole time, not giving two fucks.
Hey, you're gonna kill somebody on the road. He's gonna do it anyways. What do you think about that?
It makes me mad. I get it. All kids, they're bred to do that, right? But it's irresponsible.
If I told you that this guy's copter. What's your reaction on that?
I believe it. I just feel like it's really selfish. I feel like he should get his license taken away for some period of time and probably have to go through safe driving classes, maybe talk to people who are victims of people that drive like him.
I think it should be commensurate with like attempted manslaughter or something like, that's in effect, you're putting people at risk intentionally when you go a certain speed over the speed limit.
If you were his mother or father, what would you tell him?
That he's in.
That's not even a bad like idea. I think that like not his law. I think technically that could fall under like attempted. They could do some finagle if they really wanted to. Something like maybe attempted involuntary manslaughter. Like, I don't know. They could flip it if they wanted to. They could. I mean, you know how they do.
Selfish idiot. One of these days, somebody is gonna get in his way, and that person's gonna end up dead, or many people are gonna end up dead. And if he ends up dead, that's his consequence for what he does. But nobody else deserves to have that kind of risk. It's no different than someone who is really drunk getting behind the wheel of a car and driving when they have no control. I mean, your car is actually like a weapon of mass destruction. It has to be handled with care.
Worse than being drunk and getting behind the wheel, because you're actively making the choice to put other people's lives at risk.
The steepest price that gets paid is not the person driving the car. I mean, someone's going to end up dying, and that'll be that.
That can ruin.
See, that's literally what I was going to say. I'm like, that's kind of worse than drunk driving, because you literally have to be active. You actively choosing to go 120 miles an hour. Like, and you're saying, well, I can do it like because I'm not inebriated. That still doesn't count. Like,
Hundreds of people's lives. Like, if a kid in a school were to die, everybody in the school
It's a
would be
ripple
mourning
effect.
for that one person.
Oh yeah, he's tripping. Not safe at all.
If he hits somebody, do you think it should be manslaughter or first degree?
I say manslaughter because you know what you're doing. Like, you're just driving crazy. Like,
What would you tell him if you could say something to him?
I'd be like, slow down.
What do you think about driving like this?
Oh, it's terrible. I don't like it.
Like, you better stay away from it.
Yeah.
What should be the penalty if he's caught? Manslaughter or first degree? That's another debate.
If he hits somebody, you mean if he kills somebody? It's vehicular manslaughter.
This guy has the ability to get away from multiple police vehicles, and including helicopters.
Right.
He hasn't been caught. Yesterday, he got away from a helicopter.
Where? In New York or California?
New York.
Wow. What kind of car is he renting?
Wow.
Lamborghini.
I can see.
yeah, that's big. I'm like, if you're getting away from the helicopters, like that's big. That's unheard of. So you must be driving on some like, I don't know, transporter type.
Yeah, he was out running the cops. I guess we could hope for him hitting a telephone pole. Turn yourself in, brother. You're a reckless driver and you're going to hurt innocent people.
I ain't gonna lie to you. If nobody know what you look like, why would you turn yourself in? Like, he's not doing this right here. He's not doing reactions to this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's got a mask on. Why would you have to turn yourself in?
You're a reckless driver and you're going to hurt innocent people.
I got folks taking pics, something like paparazzi. I'ma go and get the test. I don't really like the miles. Really getting to the check, but I ain't rocking on horizon.
We're on our way to meet Squeeze Benz. Recently, he's been making the news for his high-speed stunts. While some people see his driving as exhilarating or exciting, there's a rising sentiment that this sort of behavior unnecessarily endangers innocent drivers and pedestrians. He sent us the address of a random parking garage and told us to pull up. This is what we encountered. Folks, we're on the way to talk to one of the most wanted drivers in New York, Squeeze Benz. This kid does stuff that makes my butthole pucker up. Pause. This guy is reckless. This guy is extreme. This guy drives at a very high speed. I do not drive like this. You shouldn't drive like this. And there's a reason why I'm not getting into their cars while they're driving this fast. It's dangerous. It's reckless. It's scary. Disclaimer, don't do this at home. He's kind of like a high-speed fugitive. I'm always interested in the outlaws of the world, people that live on the edge. Humans, especially men, are always pushing the limits of danger. But one distinction I want to make is Evel Knievel only harms himself if he fails. The UFC fighters are both signing up. They're in mutual combat. But these guys, if something goes wrong, they harm innocent civilians. So I want to ask him about that, but then ask him about the outlaw the testing danger piece that lives strongly within them, because I think that's interesting. This is not a product placement. I do not want to partner.
I was super wondering that while I was watching it. I'm like, yo, he's been drinking those like the last 4 videos, and the way he's talking to us the whole time, he's holding it up like an ad. I was thinking that. I'm glad he said something about that, because I was going to say something.
Within them, because I think that's interesting. This is not a product placement. I do not want a partnership with Celsius. I do not drink your drinks every single trip, multiple times a day. I don't absolutely love your drink. Guys, if you want to hit me up, please do. I would love to talk to you. Otherwise, I'll probably hit up Prime, and you know how that goes. So we're pulling up to meet Squeeze Benz. I'm excited. I hope you are too. You know, high speed must be an issue around here if they have a Mustang NYPD car that's got some zip to it. RIP Mainstream Media. It's been a great run. Kudos to you for lasting as long as you have. But it's it. I mean, you're finished. It's sorry. In honor.
I actually do like that sweater, RP Mainstream Media, man. That's actually a dope concept.
Of that, RIP Mainstream Media. Sweatshirts available. TommyGMcGee.com. Oh my god, dude. What the f is this, Batman, dude? On a scale of 1 to 10, how wanted would you say you are?
Probably a 10. Nobody's more wanted me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
It started like about a year ago. I got my first Benz, and I always did like little driving videos, and I never really took it to nothing. And then my boys started saying like, you know, now people are blowing up off this, and I was just like, you know, that's just how it started.
I'm curious, like you have a Lamborghini at one.
He said, people just said, you know what? This safe shit ain't getting you no views. You got to start risking some shit. You're like, oh, okay, bet. And I started doing it. Like, that's crazy. That's a crazy origin story. Like,
Point of Mercedes-Benz. I'm sure you go through a lot of different cars. Are you going on tour and just driving people's cars all crazy? You guys getting your own cars? Like, tell me about that.
I had my own car for a bit, but then I changed it up because I did get chased a lot. So I just realized, like, you know, doing long-term rentals is just a way better route. And then obviously I don't tell these guys I'm street bad.
Did you ever get blown up by the tour people asking what the hell happened?
They do ask, and then like I kind of just like, you know, I'm just driving the car. You know what I mean?
You mix danger, but there's also other people at risk when you do that. Innocent civilians. So what do you think about the element of danger for that?
I've been doing this since like real shit since I was 9. I used to take my dad's car out, and I used to just walk out. I've been doing this for so long now that I feel like I did have some professional at it. Like, you know, niggas know like that's how I drive. There's been incidents where I've gone out with people and they try keeping up with me and they crash.
How fast do you go?
I mean, there's been a video on live where I've gone one-handed.
Yo, that's not a good thing to say, man. He said, I've had races with people who tried to race like me and they crashed. Yeah, no shit. Like, you're pleading a good case for why you should do it, I guess, but the other people who aren't you, like,
they try keeping up with me and they crash.
How fast do you go?
I mean, there's been a video on live where I've gone one-handed 210 miles an hour.
Filming with one hand, driving with the other, 210 miles an hour.
Yes.
That's insane. Did that scare you?
Not really, just to build up a tolerance of just speed.
Do you feel like the police watch your Instagram?
100%.
This man said 210. Let me know in the comments how fast you've ever been in a vehicle, whether you were driving or somebody else was driving. I have never been no 210. I'll tell you that much. That's crazy.
Let's pop in the car and keep the conversation going. Okay. How many people normally out compared to like, am I in the high end of That's okay. Does your mom worry about you?
I told her she don't even want to hear the things that I'm doing. She be getting scared because she know I be doing shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Do you know any friends that have gotten really hurt or died?
Man, shout out the mothers and the parents out there who have to go through the same struggle with your kid. I said on a previous stream that, or previous episode, it's not just you going through stuff. Like if you go to jail or you get into an accident, your family goes through that stuff with you. So just be aware of things like that.
Doing this?
My boy, he was racing and he macked up and he hit his head and his head like split open a little bit. He needed stitches, but like other than that, nothing's ever happened.
Tell me about the camera system in New York. How hard is it to evade capture or awareness of the police?
Super easy. A lot of people like they be doing crimes with their plates on. Like, I mean, if I go and run from the cops, I'm gonna make sure I either have altered plates or no plates at all.
New York City is home to one of the most advanced camera surveillance networks on the planet. An Amnesty International project identified that there are more than 25,000.
That was funny how he pretty much said, he said, most of the people are doing the crime stupid. Like they're going out there with plates on their car. I'm like, that makes sense too, though.
networks on the planet. An Amnesty International project identified that there are more than 25,000 public and private cameras at traffic intersections across the city. This camera technology can capture faces and other details from up to 400 feet away. This infrastructure isn't cheap either. This camera technology, combined with cell phone tracking tools, spyware, and facial recognition, racked up nearly $3 billion in expenditures from the NYPD from 2007 to 2019. When street racers run rampant in the city,
yo, those aren't some small numbers to just throw or toss out there lightly. $3 billion in that's almost $1 billion. That's actually a little more than $1 billion a year. 17 and 19, that's 17, 18, 19. Yeah, that's 3 years. That's $1 billion a year. Like, just on the camera in New York, that's what they spending it on. That's wild. Like that. I wonder if we got that in California. Let me know if we got that in California. And do y'all see it like that? Like I see it on TV, like in like the UK and shit like that. But I never knew it was like that in New York. Like any of my New York you know what I mean, subscribers or followers, you know what I'm saying? Let me know what, you know what I mean, if y'all see it like that. That's crazy to me.
From the NYPD from 2007 to 2019. When street racers run rampant in the city, it's easy for governments to make the argument to increase the surveillance in order to shut down this reckless and deadly behavior. However, this same technology can also be used to capture the profiles of millions of civilians on a daily basis, something that is currently happening in China and that many Americans are afraid of. As technology such as AI facial recognition and high-def cameras increase in quality, this is a challenge we are going to have to wrestle with to ensure the very tech that can help keep us safe also doesn't grow too powerful to infringe upon our freedoms.
That's a very big, that was a very true thing to say, because we're a half step away from them knowing everything we're doing every second. And who's to say that they're not doing it already? Like, you know.
What are the different penalties for if you got caught doing what we're doing?
Jail time. I'm running red lights. I'm doing more than triple the speed limit, double the speed limit. This is a lot of tickets to.
You did a video in Times Square recently, right?
Yeah.
I gotta send it back for all my insecurities. You like some work, we'll probably clean it back. You Nicky Thompson's line locked with these slots.
It only takes one mistake to permanently change or destroy somebody's life.
I do understand that. It's just like we were also like, it was a lot of people. 12 o'clock in the morning, you see in the video, like I stopped, looked around, made sure there was nobody, and started doing donuts. And then when I was running the red lights, I'm not gonna lie, I was low-key bugging. I low-key know how to run red lights. I've been chased by Mac House to the point where I could blow the red lights doing 60, 70. No, I'm not gonna get my car.
What is your strategy in getting away from?
He said he's finna go through the red light at 60, 70. Man, I'm not getting a car with him.
Hopping on the highway. These cops, like, they're not really built for that. It's a lot of real rookie cops now. It's a bunch of rookie cops, and these guys do not know how to drive on the highway.
Let's talk about how drivers like Ben's can evade detection for so long. They do so by altering or covering up their license plates so the car cannot be tracked by police or the traffic cameras. Cars with this modification have been nicknamed ghost cars. Last month, a joint task force was launched between New York Governors Kathy Hochul, New York Mayor Eric Adams, the NYPD, and the MTA to crack down on the issue of ghost cars. In their first day alone, they impounded 73 cars, issued 282 court summons, and made 8 arrests. And I noticed the same thing back home in Milwaukee. The guys running through the red lights, driving the stolen cars, and driving aggressively, most of them do not have license plates.
What's the longest police chase you've been in?
30 minutes, 20 minutes.
That's a pretty long chase. How many guys do you think were chasing you at one time?
It had to be like 3, 4, but the main thing was the helicopter. Those are really hard to go with. Luckily, it was late night. I was in the Porsche, and that shit does 210 miles an hour. So I just hopped on the highway. You know what I mean? The helicopter can only go so fast.
You go faster than the helicopter?
Yeah, they only like top out like 150, 140.
You crash into somebody, they get paralyzed, they die. Do you think you deserve to go to prison?
Yes. Obviously, I wouldn't.
Okay. Hello. He said you crashed into somebody. That was a hard-hitting question in an inopportune time. Just threw it at him, you know what I mean, sideways, you know what I mean, out of nowhere. I like that. The spring attack when he did it. You think you should go to prison if you paralyze somebody, hit somebody? And his first answer was yes. How do you? The crazy part is he should not be doing this. I don't think he should be, like, you know what I mean? I think it's dangerous as hell, but any person willing to do something and ready to stand on the consequences and know what the repercussions are and still willing to stand on it, I mean, you got to respect it. You got to respect it as a man. You got to respect it.
In prison for life, if I kill somebody, that's somebody's life. Like, that's somebody's mother, brother, cousin, whatever the case is. If somebody crashed into my mom in her car and they killed her, I want them to go to jail. You know what I mean? Maybe not for life, but just enough to get it in their head, like, you know.
What makes taking these risks worth it for you?
You're not.
He said if somebody crashed into his mother, he wants them to go to jail. Maybe not life, I'm like, bro, I think you're probably trying to say that, like, so just in case, like, you know what I'm saying, you, God forbid, something does happen and you're in court, they can't bring this video right back and be like, well, you did say life too. Like, I was going to say, maybe not life till they get in their head. Good, yeah, good.
Really risk to me, that's the thing. I don't really see them as risk. I see them as, like, you know, me just everyday driving.
You say you've been driving since you were 9 years old?
My dad used to give me his car. You know, I used to sit on his lap when I was like 7. He used to give me the steering wheel, that, and then, you know, I hit 9. He used to send me over to AutoZone real quick. I used to go to AutoZone, Home Depot, whatever the cases. At 13, I used to start picking up my boys, and that's when I started really, like, you know, cutting up.
Oh my motherfucker. Okay, easy, Tiger. Easy, 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 easy. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Hey, hey, hey. Hey. No more, no more. Ooh, that motherfucking made me.
Imagine me doing that.
At 100?
Yeah, that's really nothing.
How many police chases do you think you've been?
More than my hand. There's been so many times where, like, the boys just get behind us and they start chasing. Or, like, it's not really chases to us. They really back off.
Do you think you're the most wanted driver in New York?
Between me and Where's 981, like, Where's 981 low-key died down, I feel like I've taken over that spot, so yeah.
I'm sure there are a lot of young men that watch your content.
This is crazy. Like, I still just can't get behind the whole thing of being like, you know what, I'm just going to go outside and try to elude the police. Like, we normal citizens, we try to avoid the police too, but not in that regard. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
What do you think about kids that want to go try and replicate this, copy this?
From Squeeze Benz himself, do not come try this.
This is something that you can get paralyzed, you could die. I don't drive like this, you shouldn't. Some people in this game take lots of risks, and Squeeze is one of those guys, but highly advise never to do it. How sophisticated is the camera system in New York?
It's getting more sophisticated now to where, like, you know, it take them probably 2-3 days to really find where you was at, you know what I mean?
How do you stash your vehicle so that the police don't trace you to your house?
I pay for a garage, I have bullet parking garage where I park my car.
So just like a drug dealer has trap houses, you have different...
I have trap houses, yeah.
Miguel, are you nervous at all?
I'm fucking nervous.
The boys are right here.
Wow, that's crazy. See? So you're telling me that you'll see a police officer maybe pulling somebody over and he purposely speeds past and kicks it off. Okay.
But how do you know he was about to get out of his vehicle and you were just about to smash him as he opened up his door? Why do you think this is something that young men gravitate towards?
Let's talk about brain development in young men. The male brain does not fully mature until about 25, so their prefrontal cortex that assesses risk is not fully developed yet, which helps to explain the risky behavior we see in this segment of the population. There's a name for this: young male syndrome. This sometimes short-sighted behavior is hypothesized to have provided an evolutionary advantage. A 2001 University of Liverpool study found that females...
That was funny. My man's over here, Book, said he could explain this whole story in park. I know, right? Driving over there, intimidating this man, like while he's in traffic and shit, like telling the story and shit. That's real as hell. So we have this at the park, in park.
Brave males who take risks to the ones that do not. And if we go back thousands of years to being hunter-gatherers on the savannah, this preference makes sense, as a female would want the male that fends off the lion or stands to fight when another rival tribe approaches. Biologically, not much has changed in our brains then, but our technology has progressed much further, and it helps to explain why you see young men doing high-speed chases and drifting through Times Square.
What's the craziest getaway?
So pretty much that was the nicest way of him saying that y'all brain ain't developed enough to realize how stupid it is, so y'all out here doing stupid shit. Basically.
Story you have.
I'll be the one with the helicopter. I pulled up on the highway, showing him the charge. He was about to pull someone over, so I got behind him. I started playing with him, and I was recording. I got away, obviously. A week later, I started getting chased by 2-3 black Chargers. I'm looking up, and I see the helicopter above me, and I'm like, oh no. It was only like my second ever helicopter chase, so my heart was bumping. I'm not knowing how hard these guys are going to go for me right now. They're going to set a roadblock up, something, you know what I mean? But thank God that wasn't the case.
Like a spike strip.
That's never happened to me. I don't need to give these niggas advice, but like, I don't know why don't use spike strips.
Is it hard for you not to be going fast right now?
Honestly, yeah. If New York really wanted to stop,
is it hard for you not? Is it hard for you not to be going fast? He's like, yeah, man, this speed limit shit is bullshit.
They should put a place where people can do this and have fun in a safe environment. If you give us a spot, we're gonna use it.
How long do you see yourself doing this for?
It's not gonna be a forever thing. Eventually, it's gonna turn into a brand.
How often do you drive? Reckless.
It's every day but to a limit.
Let's talk about reckless driving in the United States. In 2021, there were 6 million car crashes and 39,500 of them were fatal. A survey by the insurance company Nationwide found that 47% of Gen Z reported driving faster than the speed limit, and 34% of them reported video chatting while driving. Actions like this help contribute to car crashes being the leading.
You said 34% of the deaths were because people were video chatting while they were driving. I personally do not video chat while I drive. I damn near don't even be on the phone when I drive. Like, I be focused, like, because people outside be crazy. Like,
cause of death for American teenagers. Another concerning fact is the amount of pedestrians killed by reckless driving. In 2022, there were 7,500 deaths in this manner. In New York, vehicular manslaughter is a felony that carries a steep sentence of up to 15 years. We took 2 Polaroids, they're fresh off the press, still developing. We're gonna put them in 2 random people that buy merch in the next 48 hours. 2 people will get Squeeze Benz, Tommy G, Polaroid photos. RIP Mainstream Media, Big Dog's Gotta Eat. Hope to send this to you. Available.
hey, you know what? I actually think that you guys should actually support the merch because I actually think that's what is dope. I think I do so many reactions to Tommy G. I might just get one anyway, man. But yeah, I think the merch is dope. Rest in peace, Mainstream Media, because without that idea or that mentality, we wouldn't be here right now. So let's go.
On Patreon only are the wild and extended cut versions of the interviews with Squeeze Benz, including one right after he got finished with a helicopter chase, extended cut interview with Swim Team, and more. This is some good shit. Patreon.
Hey, let me know in the comments if I should just take it up a notch and start doing the Patreon reactions. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the YouTube reactions. Let me know.
We find ourselves in another parking garage meeting with New York driver Wears 981 and his crew, the Swim Team. Swimming refers to the driving technique where they cut up, weaving in and out of traffic to get where they want to go. They've gained a lot of notoriety online, and I wanted to talk to them to learn more about them.
The faster you go and the more dangerous you drive, the more views you get.
All right, guys, you're pulling up to meet the Swim Team. You're one of the groups of the drivers. Why do you guys call yourself Swim Team?
This is how it started. Like, they call me Float. Used to be called Float Apostle. So, like, I guess it's like a teacher. I would teach you how to float. And then it just turned into, like, you know, we started cutting up and stuff. It was almost like we were swimming through traffic. And they'll call me, like, Michael Phelps. So, we're swimming.
How fast do you go sometimes?
I'm hitting 150 every day. It's easy to hit 150, bro. Like, it's triple digits no matter what. Your 50, 60 miles an hour is my 100.
Have you had any near misses?
Yeah, of course. People come to me like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? I'm not going to try and teach you how to do it because of the simple fact that someone can get hurt. Thank you that I have not hurt anybody. It's like shooting a gun in the open can get hurt.
Oh, shit, man. Squeeze a Benz is black. Oh, shit. Hold on. Yeah, put the mask on, do the voice alteration, but hold on. We know you black now. Oh, that's crazy. I mean, yeah, okay. Black people shout at us. We going. I mean, we good in one column, but also, that's a big. I mean, that helps narrow it down for the police. Like, I ain't gonna lie.
Thank you that I have not hurt anybody. It's like shooting a gun in an open field. Like, anybody can get hit with a straight bullet.
If you hit somebody and they get really injured or die, what should be the punishment, you think?
I'm going to jail 100%.
Yeah, it's worth it. Why?
It's not worth it. That's the thing. I can't justify it, you know?
What's it like being in a high-speed chase?
Your first time, it feels crazy.
To be real with you, like, it's crazy too, because if you're going about 120 and you crash into somebody, I would be pretty remiss to not think that you would both just be dead immediately. Like, I believe there was a football player who just passed away for going 120 miles an hour and hit a wall, and his car blew up like in the movies. Like, cars don't even blow up, but 120 and up, like, I believe something's going to ignite. Let's just be real.
Justify it, you know?
What's it like being in a high-speed chase?
Your first time, it feels crazy, bro. Like, you're like you're scared to go home some way, somehow. You make it.
This motherfucker goes on a high-speed chase and then goes home. He said, yeah, these young boys, they don't know.
You're home. You have a little bit of a tough night of sleep that first night, and then you make it to the second night, you make it to the next night. They never come. After that, you get numb to it, you know?
What are the laws in New York for chasing people? Because I know in Milwaukee, oftentimes they don't chase you at a certain speed because they know it results in civilian deaths a lot of times when the chase happens.
It depends on the cop, honestly. I've seen cops where one of my boys, the dude is going off-road in New York, and the fucking cops following him off the road. It just takes that one, you know, that one cop that's just ready to be like, alright, I'm coming for you, and it's over.
What does your mom think about this?
I bring my mom to work and go to 150 today. She didn't get scared. In her eyes, she knows I'm a good driver. Like, she got mother's prayers, of course. She's gonna always pray for me. Make sure.
Nah, fuck all that. Nah, this man said, I took my mama to work going 150. Like, was she late? Like, look, why would you? I can't see myself taking my mama to work at 150. Like, mama, you want to be late. Like, you know what I mean? They ain't tripping like that. You ain't finna loop. Man, I ain't gonna lie. 150? Like, and how far is the job? Like, where your mom work at too? That plays a big part in it. Like, if your mom is like the cashier at Safeway or Walmart, like, I'm not going 150 behind that. I ain't gonna lie. That's just not me. Like, now you're just showing off, I guess.
In her eyes, she knows I'm a good driver. Like, she got mother's prayers, of course. She's gonna always pray for me. Make sure everything works out every single time, but she's not too stressed.
You created Swim, right?
I wouldn't say I created Swim, so it started off as me and right? Loading, swimming, and then we're like, why does that sound kind of nice?
So I'm here with...
Reaper FedEx 3250, where's I-1?
And I'm Tommy G, allegedly.
Okay.
Who out of this group is the high-speed specialist?
This nigga right here is like nasty on the track. This nigga right here, he's just nasty on the motor. That's why I drift, go fast.
What's the fastest you guys have ever gone in a car before?
170?
170?
170?
That's life or death speed. What makes it worth it for you to put yourself in that position where you could go to the afterlife if you're not careful?
Oh yeah, big facts. Book says over here, they're like, oh man, that shows he don't care about her safety. I'm like, yeah, man, you gonna take your mama in the car 150? I'm like, sorry, I ain't doing that.
When I drive my car, bro, I just drive it down fun, bro. If I die, I die. I'm not living life like I'm gonna die for me. I'm not trying to go outside and die, obviously. I never like hopped in a car and went that fast off rip. It's kind of like I got used to it, slowly, you know, building up like a tolerance to speed. But if you're watching this and you're a driver, then you know what I mean when you feel the rear wheels through the seat of the car.
You're super in tune and in touch. It's almost like the car is an extension of your body.
You have senses from the seat, the steering wheel, the audio cues, how loud the engine is, if your tires are squealing. You have so many cues in it, and it's really up to you to take all that sensory input and be able to like drive properly. It's like we're not trying.
That's some real ish because the way I drive, I don't drive like that, but I don't drive. You know, what I mean, I'm in the express lane. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people who don't know how to drive or they try to do it. Like, bro, you're supposed to be in tune with your car and your surroundings, man. That's an extension of your body. That's pretty much have to drive that thing. Like, if you a goofy person and you walk goofy, maybe that's just how you drive. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Just be aware.
Take all that sensory input and be able to like drive properly. It's like we're not trying to do this shit forever. Like we genuinely want to hop on the track, just go crazy. It's just a track right now. It's expensive and people are shutting the tracks down.
Do you guys know anyone that has crashed or died or gotten injured doing this?
Crashed for sure, but nobody that's really crashed.
Hold on.
If anybody were to seriously get hurt or crash or anything like that, I think it'll end it for everybody. I think we don't stop.
There's a risk of hurting someone that's completely innocent. Someone could be on their way to work. Someone could be going to pick up their kid from soccer practice. Like, how does that factor in your driving and what you think about when you drive?
I don't have to force nothing. If I get left, I get stuck.
What does that mean when you get left?
If I'm following 91 or I'm following flow and they think a cut I can't take, I'm not taking it. We swim for each other. We drive for each other. We don't drive for ourselves. I know exactly how each one of them drives and how I drive. So God forbid someone has to hard brake, the cars behind are already braking and looking for openings so we're not rear-ending each other.
Have you guys had any near misses?
Okay.
There's one time where he took the cut. Right after he took the cut, it was either I fit the cut.
Okay, so it does seem like they are moving with a little bit of purpose. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're moving kind of incongruent with each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it seems kind of like they got a plan, but sometimes plans fail.
We're not rear-ending each other.
Have you guys had any near misses?
But there's this one time where he took a cut. Right after he took the cut, it was either I fit the cut or I'm gone. It's funny saying this, but we're not criminals. Yeah, we're like jobs. We have insurance on our cars. We pay for our cars. Like, people think, oh, it's daddy's money. Like, that should be pissing me off, bro, because I did work hard as for this shit, bro.
Do you guys' moms know about this?
So these guys go to work and specifically and use all their money just to do this. I mean, that's pretty much just funding your career, your business. But I don't know how you can make money off of this. But if you can, if you know how to make money off this, let me know, because I don't know how they do it.
She knows, and she tells me every day to stop. And I tell her, look, I'm trying. We have a great swim team, right? We're not trying to cut a Reckless 24/7, bro. Like, we got a 5M service coming up, a Settle Forces service coming up. And honestly, like, we see the community, we see the love you guys are giving us, and we're not going to take this and just, throw it all away. It's like one of those stories we're trying to create where the bad guy kind of wins.
What do you say to the people that are like super pissed when they see what you do? They're like, that's reckless, it's selfish, it's dangerous. People could.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with like going to a track. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even think about that. So I forgot they got tracks and shit. That makes perfect sense. Hey, thank you for even bringing that to the to the forefront. I didn't even think about that. They do have tracks. I don't understand why they can't just go to the track. But I ain't gonna lie, that track should be kind of boring, man. You just going in circles and shit. Like, I don't know. I guess I don't think there's enough excitement in it for them to just go to a track. I think that's probably the reason, because that just sounded boring just saying it. Like, I can't even watch like the Indy 400 or 500 or whatever. That shit is dry. Like, like you're like, all right, bro. All right, ooh. Oh, here you come again. Like, bro, that shit boring. Like, I'm out of there.
People that are like super pissed when they see what you do. They're like, that's reckless, it's selfish, it's dangerous, people could die. What do you say to those type of folks?
Honestly, bro, you're right. I agree with them, bro. I don't even argue with them. I don't argue with them, bro. I don't argue with them either. When people look at accidents and they see like us cutting up and like racing through traffic, doing a whole bunch of dumb stuff, they see it as not precise. Like, they're thinking like we're just out there and we're trying to crash. We're not trying to crash. If anything, I would argue that when we're on the road, we're actually paying attention to the road more than anyone else on the road. Or another thing is drinking and driving. And like, we don't ever be under the influence ever.
Okay.
And I'm proud to say that.
Tell me what's going through your head in the police chase. How do you get away? What are you thinking about? Are you trying to go a few streets and take an exit? You got a hideout?
I ain't gonna hold you. You gotta respect that. They are actually. It's kind of weird because they're like, we work hard, we got insurance, we do, et cetera, et cetera. You're like, all right, you guys are good citizens, except when you get off work, you go out there and committing crimes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of funny how people try to justify the shit. He was like, like, besides the committing crime shit, like, I'm really like a good citizen. Like, you know what I mean? I take care of my kids, I pay taxes, I go to work. Like, all right, well, you got a good cover as a criminal. Like, that's what it sounds like, but all right.
Like, how do you evade police in this type of situation?
Don't give out too much sauce. You gotta bring your home.
There's people that might watch what you do and wonder how the police have not caught you yet. What is your answer?
Honestly, I mean, truly, the way that we don't get caught is to stop being dickhead. New York has a no chase policy. I can say this because I've been at least in swim at least.
Right. That's dope when they say New York has a no chase policy, and I think that's really good because, like, you want to make sure civilians don't get hurt. In California, I believe, or in Texas, they enacted these new ways of vehicle deterrence, or ways to take vehicles off the road safely. One of them is where they have a new magnetic strip they shoot out like the Batmobile. It strips on magnetically to your car, so now they have like a whole rope that's tethered to the vehicle so they can slow you down. That's one of them. The whole, what's it called? I don't know what they used to call that. The whole burnout or spin out trick they used to do back in the day is actually unsafe for everybody involved. So they stopped doing that. They used to throw spikes on the road. That's unsafe as well. So yeah, I think it's a good idea when they say, hey man, like, we should let them go. If we can get the license plate, do some other investigative work and try to find them later and protect human life. I think that's a good idea. Let me know in the comments what you think though.
New York has a no chase policy. I can say this because I've been at least in swim at least. I got into the most out chasing. Right? I'm not saying that because I like that. I got the worst luck, bro. Honestly, it's got the worst luck of it.
I wanted to know what the legal perspective was on what swim team, squeeze bends, and all these other New York drivers were doing. What were the legal ramifications? How much jail time could they?
Hey, that's real. Book says all that adrenaline's got to be worse than alcohol. I mean, that's crazy. I never thought about that. Like, if you're on a roller coaster and you just happen to be going, for that little 10 seconds or whatever, that's crazy. And a crazy dopamine, adrenaline, whatever they call that. Dopamine. Crazy rush. Crazy flooding the system. But if you're doing that for 45 minutes, You could be addicted to that. You could be an adrenaline junkie. Like, yeah, that could be an addiction as well. Hey, thank you for saying that in the comments. Hell yeah, yeah, could be adrenaline junkie.
Squeeze Benz and all these other New York drivers were doing. What were the legal ramifications? How much jail time could they face? And why is it that they were so brazen about continually doing this? I talked to my guy Nate the lawyer to figure out more about this. He's a lawyer that runs.
Shout out Nate the lawyer, man. He's one of my favorite dudes to watch. If you guys got some time, go check him out as well. Let me know if I should do some reactions with what he does too, because he talks about a lot of political things and things that are going on in today's society. Go check him out, man. He's lit.
Runs a YouTube channel and breaks things down regularly. This is what he had to say.
My name is Nate the lawyer. I'm a former prosecutor and a former law school professor. And what you've just seen on screen is known as reckless driving. In the state of New York, you can serve up to a year in prison if you recklessly drive. Reckless driving in New York is simple. It's if you drive in a manner that, quote, unreasonably interferes with the free and proper use of the public highways or unreasonably endangers users of the public highway. Reckless driving is prohibited. Every person violating this provision shall be guilty of a misdemeanor, meaning you can serve up to a year in jail. If someone is injured or killed during the act of reckless driving, you could find yourself facing some serious charges.
Dangerous and disturbing exclusive video of young people driving their cars recklessly just before one of the cars crashed and killed 2 people.
Now, this driver was charged with manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. He's facing up to 10 years in prison. If you're...
Yo, so you're telling me this dude recklessly drove, completely sober, killed 2 people, and the max penalty he's facing is 10 years. Let me know how you guys feel about that, because we all know somebody who knows somebody who is in jail for something really petty for a really long time. So that's just crazy. Even up to 10 years for killing 2 people. That reminds me of, like, you remember Stephanie Melgoza? I did a story about her on my previous, on my other channel, my Who Is channel, my true crime channel. This woman killed 2 people driving drunk and laughed about it or whatever while she was inebriated, and the police were telling her, and they gave her 14 years. That's it. And she was drunk. That's crazy.
Doing something that you know is inherently dangerous and could get someone killed or hurt, and then you do it anyway. That the law finds to be reckless and criminal in some cases. Driving a car 90 miles an hour in a 50-mile-an-hour zone is reckless. Someone could get hurt, someone could get killed, and if someone does, then you are on the hook for that homicide. There may be no fear of repercussions because of New York's bail reform laws. The misdemeanor of reckless driving, as you see on the screen, isn't eligible for bail. If someone commits this crime 10 times in the same day, they'll get bail every time because of New York's bail reform laws. Now, some of you may not believe how insane New York's bail reform laws are, but they are.
Wait, somebody's got to explain that bail reform law. None of that made no sense to me. He said you can bail out and then do the same crime again, and then you could bail out again 10 times in a day. I think they want that money. New York sound like they doing
insane. Like this guy who was arrested 101 times for shoplifting and let go every time because of New York's bail reform laws. Or this guy who was arrested for 3 assaults in one day, even threw a brick through a store window. He was released every single time on bail reform. Or the story of these 4 people.
Hold on. You got to explain what this bail reform is. Somebody in comments let me know like what that is. Does that mean like they're citing and releasing you, or you have to pay some monetary something? Like you got to give them some cash, some property, something like they, like, you know what I mean? Why are you doing a crime and they're just letting you go? Like how is that? Somebody explain this bail reform. I don't understand. I'm in California. We don't have that.
Who chopped up 2 bodies, left body parts all around. The story of these 4 people. He was released every single time on bail reform. Or the story of these 4 people who chopped up 2 bodies, left body parts all around the state of New York, and then when the cops went to their home, they found blood, body parts, guts, everything in their home. Guess what the judge did? He released them without bail. When you put everything together, I think these guys.
Is this Mayor Eric Adams doing? You got to explain that to me.
Home, they found blood, body parts, guts, everything in their home. Guess what the judge did? He released them without bail. when you put everything together, I think these guys are doing it because they don't really have any fear that they're going to kill anybody. And if they get caught reckless driving, they'll get arrested and charged, but they'll probably be let out the same day on bail reform. Then we can go out and do it again. If you need legal advice, if you're looking to this YouTube video to help you in your case, you're looking at the...
Why would I need legal advice? They letting me go. I'm saying, why do I need?
If you need legal advice, if you're looking to this YouTube video to help you in your case, you're looking at the wrong place. With that being said, I'm Nate the Lawyer, and I'm out. Peace.
After hearing what Nate the Lawyer said, hearing that there's no consequences really for what these guys are doing, it makes sense why they're doing it. Back to the swim team.
How often do you guys get nervous doing this?
So when I started, I see it's super nervous, especially when I used to run. And the reason I started running is not because I don't like cops. It's simply because it got to a point where I can't afford the tickets anymore. Because I was getting singled out for no reason. The speed limit is 50, right? So I would be on the Bell Parkway and I'm going 70, 75. I'm doing the same speed everyone else is doing. However, when the state trooper sees everyone else and me, they single me out because I'm in a white port. So then they think I can afford the ticket, but in the beginning, I could, but then that shit started stacking up. And if you're going to say, oh, then just don't speed, I wasn't speeding. I was just keeping up with the flow of traffic, right? And then I just started running one day because I just couldn't afford it.
This is the craziest origin story. These guys got the craziest origin story, bro. This is not no M. Night Shyamalan. Like, this is that man said, look, man, the tickets was stacking up and I couldn't afford them bitches. So one day I just said, fuck it, I'm kicking one. Like, okay. I don't know if that's ever the okay.
Just keeping up with the flow of traffic, right? And then I just started running one day because I just couldn't afford the tickets anymore. And then it just started from there. I was super nervous at first. You gotta tell lawyer fees too. After the first time, I only got nervous one more time after that. That was only because I got to take one of them.
How many people were after? 15 cars? Do you guys had to get away from helicopters before?
I never had to. Thanks God. Honestly, but I feel like I don't do this situation. Oh yeah, I know what to do.
Has the news reached out to any of you guys?
They said, have you ever been in a speed with the helicopter? He said, no, not yet, but I know what to do if it happens. I'm like, bro, you living dangerously for what? Like, that sounds crazy.
Oh yeah, of course. Bro, I ain't going front. This is crazy. I'm like 87. I'm like 87 news at all. Because they reached out to me about my content and they still posted after I said no. I don't like that. But yeah, this man was article about us.
So news reporters have reached out to you guys. They DM you, they email you. Okay, so Ali Bauman from CBS New York.
He said the news is hitting me up. Like, yeah, man, like, yeah, come over here and do an interview. It's like, nah, like, you just gonna go there and the police gonna be there, or like what? They want to do one like virtually? Like, nah, what is going on, man? We interviewing criminals now? Like, well, I guess technically you're not a criminal because you ain't get caught. So
okay, so Ali Bauman from CBS New York.
I was like, no, I just never responded.
What made you say no to her and yes to me?
Honestly, bro, you're not a cop. Yeah, you're not a cop. You're not associated with the law. You don't have an ulterior motive. I genuinely feel like you're not going to try to paint a bad picture with it. And you've seen your videos, you've seen the work you do, and the type of, honestly, you interview people that do worse stuff than us. Yeah, so it's like, come on now. If you were keeping them safe, there's no reason why you would keep us safe, bro.
To me, it feels.
I ain't gonna lie, that's some good logic. I ain't gonna lie. They are trying to heavily black out their eyes and their faces and their voices, so we don't know who they are, and that kind of makes for a weird interview, right? Like, because the voices sound crazy.
Really fun to have no journalistic background to be beating them at their own game.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, bro, when you're an authentic person, you go far away.
I feel like people in our generation just.
Hey, I like what he said right there. That's super true. When you're an authentic person, you go far in life. When I say being authentic, it doesn't mean being a good person. It doesn't mean being a nice person. If you are just a real, just who you are as a person, you don't have to be a perfect person. Like, if you're, as long as you're just yourself, like, people identify with people being real. Like, I mean, I'm not saying be an asshole, but you know what I'm saying?
Just don't trust the news. They've lied so many times that their credit's gone with us.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Honestly, bro, I've been getting more accurate shit from TikTok.
Pull over, take the tracker out the whip. Range Rover Sport, I'm on the Jackie doing tricks. Keep swimming, got the paddles in the ship.
Let's meet the swim team and let's hear their specialties.
float, swim team. You already know.
And what's your specialty?
My specialty is floating. All I do is float. That's my name. That's what I do. It's everything.
Do you feel like you have to look over your shoulder doing this kind of stuff?
I always look over my shoulder. I'm always not anyone. I would say I'm kind of camera shy, but like my specialty is like I do a little bit of everything. But when it comes to like the the corporate side of things, the brand and stuff, like I'm basically like the brains behind that whole.
Wait, so you're trying to turn this into a video game?
I mean, we already kind of did. It's a game, so it's called Assetto Corsa. So basically, we host servers, and you just gotta take the link, hop on the server, and if any one of us happens to play on the server, you get to drive with Swerve risk-free.
Whereas 981 and his team are well aware.
Okay, so they're trying to find. They found a way to monetize it underground. You got to respect the ingenuity and their entrepreneurship. Like that's pretty lit, man. That's a great idea. They got merch. They wear merch. Like,
that a lot of his fans are young males that might try and replicate what they do. And knowing that is incredibly dangerous, his team has done something so you can join them in the safety of your home. They built this online Assetto Corsa server so you can drive, swerve, drift, whatever you want. All you need is a computer, internet connection, and it's recommended you have a steering wheel. Details to join the server are in my description. Do you think you're wanted by law enforcement?
They definitely know about us. I mean, me specifically, I have no clue. If I am wanted, I'm sorry. I don't hate NYPD. I just don't want the ticket.
What do you go by?
that was the most pedestrian thing to say. Like he's like, man, look, I'm not trying to beef with y'all. Like them tickets is high. Like, let's be real though. I got a speeding ticket, man. That shit was pricey. They wanted $5 and some change. I think it was like $5.25 or some shit. Like, man, that shit was wild. I feel what he's saying. Imagine if you got like 6 of those in a month. Like, that's $3,000 you got to pay just because you were speed. I feel him. I mean, I'm not going to take off, but I feel you. I slowed down. That's what I did.
I am wanted. I'm sorry. I don't hate NYPD. I just don't want the ticket.
What do you go by?
Brick 250 or Brick 50, either one is fine.
And what's your specialty?
Well, right now, I think the fans would probably say my specialty is probably police chases, cop chases, and stuff like that. But in my opinion, I think drift is on.
How many police chases do you think you've been in?
Honestly, bro, I lost count probably because I posted at least 30, I think. So I think I have.
You have at least 30 police chases on the internet right now.
Yeah.
Why is this worth potentially going to prison?
No matter how you look at it, it's not worth it at all. Me being how I am as a person, bro, it's fun, bro.
Who are you?
I'm Reaper.
What's your specialty?
I'm more of a low-key swimmer. I'm not really making videos and stuff, but, if you know, you know.
Do you have any little brothers?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a low-key swimmer. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't doing the videos. I'm out here just living it. It's crazy.
If they wanted to get into this, what would you tell them?
I'm a hypocrite, but I wouldn't recommend it for
you. Don't recommend it? This is a question for the whole group. How often do you guys have to change vehicles?
I say if you do it right, you could probably go a year to 2 years where you have to swap the car if you're smart. But you could do some dumb shit in one night that makes you have to swap.
What do you go by?
My name's Billy.
And what's your specialty?
Honestly, the fans kind of know me as Lesnar, I guess I would say. That's if you get in trouble, you can call me. I'll help you with your situation.
So what makes this worth doing?
It's not worth doing. I wouldn't recommend doing.
I don't understand how Lester is going to help me in my situation. If you get in trouble, Lester is going to help you with your situation. I needed more clarification on that. Somebody in the comments let me know what he meant by that. That was very vague.
Yeah, I'll help you with your situation.
So what makes this worth doing?
It's not worth doing. I wouldn't recommend doing it if I were you, but I can't make your decision for you. So if you are going to do this against our best wishes, I guess, just think about other people on the road and do whatever you can to bring it home without hurting yourself, hurting anybody else, or damaging any property.
Tell me how you think about taking on risks and danger.
I think if you're ever going to take on any risks or any danger, whether it's physical risks or financial risks, I think you should write down every single one of the variables that could be a factor in the risk that you're taking, and you should figure out what's the worst case scenario that could go wrong, any other kind of scenarios that could go wrong, and you want to figure out what the best case scenario is, and if that's worth the gamble for you, for the risks that are laid out on the table. But if those risks are worth the reward that you're going for, I think you should go for it. And if at any time you get too scared, the risks are too much for the reward, you don't want to risk it for the biscuit, then stop, because you're not built for it.
If you want an extraordinary life, you have to take extraordinary measures and risks in action, but know your lane and know when to sit out. And this is something I'm sitting out for.
Also, the story of Icarus, when you have black wings and you fly too close to the sun, never feel like you.
Man, are these fools trying to get all hypothetical and metaphysical with the reasoning? Man, come on, bro. Look, You guys like speeding. You guys like, you know what I'm saying, the adrenaline rush. You guys are young. You guys, this is what you guys like doing. Just say that. I like doing this shit, man. Like, y'all shouldn't do it because it's dangerous. I see that. Like, but come on, fam. All this old, like Kid Icarus and what, man, come on, knock it off. They gonna show the pictures of the, come on, man. Come on, don't, man. Tommy, you doing too much.
Brother.
Shout out my son Jolly too. He couldn't make it. Yeah, so you asked us these questions. What do you think of swimming?
So here's the thing. I think danger is good in somebody's life, but when you endanger someone else while you're having your own fun, that's where I'm iffy about it. Yeah. I admire the courage, I admire the bravery, but when other people's lives are at risk, to me, it's like it's a hard battle. You know what I mean? Like, if I lost a friend because someone was just having fun on the road, I'd want to kill that guy. I also, as a young man who does dangerous things, too, get it. But I highly advise you, don't try it out. We met these guys here to do B-roll of their cool cars. But while waiting their turn, a couple of them decided to do donuts in a parking lot where there were many families. Okay. Because of this, the police were called, and in a few minutes, an NYPD helicopter arrived on the scene. This is what happened next.
Oh, we got a dip in a second. You seen that, right? Yeah.
Hello, folks. I'm Tommy G. Here at the Most Wanted Drivers in New York. Look, they're feeling out. Folks, I wasn't lying when I said these guys are wanted. Well, folks, I think it's time we get out of here.
They peeled out like fucking Fast and Furious, man. That shit was funny as hell. All right, man. That's hella funny. Let's get over here. All right, man. NT to the G, man. We just did that Tommy G McGee reaction with the Most Wanted Drivers. That shit seemed like some Fast and Furious type shit. It was pretty cool, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys thought about it. I kind of didn't like the fact that they were masked up the whole time, and I mean, good for their safety. I ain't trying to have nobody go to jail, but like you did the voice distortion, and it was weird. I don't know. I didn't like this one as much as I usually do. But let me know how you guys feel about it.